O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. Stand up for your country. Big interview with the ICE chief, Tom Homan. Now, when you watch the interview, because Homan has been a lot of places in the media, assess how different this chat is. Now, I'm not bragging, but it's different when I interview somebody. And you'll see it. And we'll discuss it tomorrow. Also, I have a name for this program tonight. If it's Tuesday, and it is, it must be chaos. And national security is the subject of this evening's Talking Points Memo. So you've heard about it. There was a big national security meeting. It took place on March 15th at 11:44 in the morning in Washington, D.C. J.D. Vance, the vice president, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, DIA Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and national security officials. Big crew, right? And Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. Now, the meeting was supposed to be secret and to discuss bombing the Houthis in Yemen, who are terrorizing shipping in the Red Sea. Got the scene? Somehow, some way, a guy named Jeffrey Goldberg gets on the thread. Right? So all these people weren't in the room. They were going back and forth on the internet, which is always a problem. So Goldberg is in there and he's listening and reading all the texts and the back and forth. I don't know anything about the internet, but this is on an app called Signal. Okay. We don't know exactly how Goldberg got in there yet, but we'll find out. So this is bad. Capital B, capital A, capital D. Bad. But Jeffrey Goldberg is not to be trusted. He is the guy who made up that bogus story about President Trump in Europe calling dead Americans in World War II and World War I suckers. Remember that? Story was totally fabricated. This is the guy. So you know nobody would invite him in. He just got on there somehow. We need to know how. Big time. Okay, so you have the scene. Congress, not happy. The Senate Intelligence Committee today bringing in Gabbard and CIA Director John Ratcliffe. Go.
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Why are you going to get into the specifics? Is it because it's all classified?
Because this is currently under review by the National Security
Because
Council.
it's all classified? If it's not classified, share the text now.
As the White House previously
Is it classified
stated,
or non-classified information on this text?
I can confirm.
Director Radcliffe, were you on the group chat?
Senator, I was on a Signal messaging group.
So you were the John Ratcliffe on that chat?
I was.
Thank you.
Okay, and there weren't any revelations in the hearings. It was the Democratic senators pounding the Trump administration. And if it were reversed, Republican senators would have done the same thing. That's the way the game is played in Washington. But for you and me, honest American citizens, we want some accountability here, I would assume. Here's what I said on News Nation last night. Look, if you hate Trump, then you're going to put the worst spin on it. If you like Trump, then you're going to say, no big deal. My job is to tell the audience on News Nation exactly what happened, and I'm going to recap it very quickly, okay? Number one, these guys did not prepare enough for this discussion. They were not responsible enough to protect the country. It's obvious, okay? They did not know that this weasel Goldberg was going to be on the thread. Somebody allowed him in, and that should be investigated. And I'm going to insist on that we know who allowed how this Goldberg got access. You have to know, so it doesn't happen again. Now, upon hearing all this, Hillary Clinton went on X with one sentence. It says, "You have to be kidding me." All right, because Hillary Clinton was attacked vehemently for having classified information on her private server. You'll remember that. But I don't know, Mrs. Clinton, if this is really what you want to do. This was obviously a screw up, a mistake. I don't believe anybody let Jeffrey Goldberg on that thread intentionally. I don't believe it. There was no reason for it. But you, madam, intentionally, all right, cleansed your phone and your computer. You took it out. You take all the classified stuff that you had illegally and you try to get rid of it. Come on. It's not even close to being the same thing. You might want to sit this one out. All right. So summing up, this is a story that will go away quickly. There'll be another controversy tomorrow, Wednesday. But we need to know how this Goldberg got on that thread. Fair? That's the memo. Congressman Jim Jordan, he's an ardent Republican, big Trump booster. So he is trying to defend the deportations. And as you know, the Trump administration is sending people to El Salvador and other countries that they deem to be undesirable. Not all migrants are being rounded up. All right, it's the criminal element, along with some people who get caught up in those raids. That's what's happening. Okay, so a guy named Judge James Boasberg, 62 years old, works out of D.C., very liberal judge. All right, he wants to suspend the migrant deportations to El Salvador, and he issued an injunction. The problem was that there was a plane in the air taking criminals to El Salvador, and that plane continued and landed, and those people are in prison there. Right? The United States pays the government of El Salvador to take those people. Now, this is a big legal matter. It may go to the Supreme Court, but it's also a matter for Congress, and Jordan is getting involved. Go.
And then finally, you got this judge saying this crazy decision, turn the plane around, bring the bad guys back to America. That makes no sense. So when you look at all that, coupled with this judge's history with the FISA court, with the sentence he gave to Kleinsmith, the lawyer, Kevin Kleinsmith, who altered the document in front of the FISA court, it really starts to look like Judge Boasberg is operating purely political against the president. And that's what we want to have hearings on, this broad issue and some of what Judge Boasberg is doing.
Okay, that's worthy. Let's find out about the judge. Now, this Kleinsmith situation is, he was an FBI lawyer who falsified a warrant in the Russian collusion case so that the Bureau could spy on the Trump campaign. That's what this guy did. He was convicted of this. But instead of going to prison, which he should have, Boasberg gave him probation, 400 hours of community service, a light sentence. Not totally crazy if you're sympathetic to the man's public service, but Kleinsmith obviously committed a crime at a very high level. So I welcome Jim Jordan's hearings. Let's find out about what's going on here. You wouldn't wait for your car to break down to get an oil change, right? Your health should be no different. Don't wait until you get sick to get medications you might need. All Family Pharmacy makes healthcare simple, the way it should be. Whether you need ivermectin, antibiotics, maintenance meds, or other essential prescriptions, they've got you covered. Just order online and they will work with doctors who handle the prescriptions for you. They even ship your medication straight to your door. No waiting rooms, no hassle. Be ready before you need it. Stock up now. Take control of your health. Because when it comes to protecting your family, preparation is everything. Please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use code BILL10 for 10% off your order. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill, code BILL10. Okay, we have a YouTube channel, and you're probably tired of me telling you about it, but if you haven't signed up, I hope you do, youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly. So I put a commentary about Bernie Sanders, a senator from Vermont, on and it's going through the roof. And so people all over the world are getting the truth, capital T, about the barn burner, Bernie Sanders. He's a communist. And he is. I'm just telling you, he is. And that is on YouTube. So we hope you sign up for our YouTube channel and you can watch 2 commentaries a week from me. Let's go to the mail. Scott Overcash, Diamond Bar, California. I say President Obama was a worse president than Joe Biden. Biden was clueless, but Barack knew what he was doing to screw things up. Well, I respectfully disagree. And I chronicle the whole thing in Confronting the Presidents. You may not like Barack Obama, but he ran the government fairly efficiently. You may disagree with his income redistribution tactic. I did. But he was a responsible president. Biden was not, on any level, just immigration alone. If you compare Obama's record to Biden's record, no comparison. Kathleen, Bill, I believe you're absolutely wrong to assume Michelle Obama would win if she ran, and I think the Obamas are realizing how many Dems didn't vote the party this time. So I base my analysis, Kathleen, on Michelle Obama's approval in the polls, which is the highest of any Democrat, and her book sales, which are colossal. She outsells me. Now, she's only had 2 books, and I've had 20. But so raw, I outsell her. But this is a popular woman in the Democratic precincts. So that's where I base my analysis on, those facts. And I would be curious where you say I'm wrong. Well, what are you basing your analysis on? Remember, Kathleen, people believe what they want to believe. And that's all right. We're all entitled to our opinion under the Constitution. But when you make a statement of fact, you should have something to back it up. Rebecca. The institutions that are invested in DEI policies have simply renamed it. The program is now called Inclusive Excellence and Belonging. Wow, I did not know that, Rebecca. Inclusive Excellence and Belonging. I'm going to be on a lookout for that. Peter Santoro, Oradell, New Jersey. While no one can argue with eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse, I'm skeptical that DOGE will make a meaningful impact on government finances unless talk about changes to entitlements. There are many things that have been done to Social Security, like raising the retirement age, means testing, and better yet, privatizing it. You're not wrong, Peter, but our politicians aren't going to touch Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid. Not now. You're going to get everything done first, and maybe in 10 years they'll look at that. Renee Murray, Bowie, Maryland. How is it that President Carter created the Department of Education with executive order, but Congress must be the ones to dismantle it because Congress incorporated the Department of Education into the budgetary process? Carter could have just created it and then Congress said, no, I'm not giving you any money. That's not what Congress did. Once it's in the budgetary process, then Congress has to dismantle it. It's bureaucracy. Hello. Barry Cowan, Colwyn, Idaho. Bill, you often mention the ability to research issues. My wife and I are longtime watchers and premium members because we have learned to trust your reporting. That said, could you help us find resources we can use in our own research that we can trust? I can help you, but you have to be a concierge member, not a premium member. Now, that sounds a little cold and callous, and I don't mean it to. So here's the difference. You're a premium member, and you get all the access to our website on BillO'Reilly.com. Everything there you get, because some of the stuff on there is a firewall that the public can't get. Public can see my columns, public can see my messages, but a lot of the other things they can't. You can. If you upgrade to concierge status, then you can write me about any research you want. Anything. And within 24 hours, boom, I will get back to you with a roadmap. That's why this program has been so successful. Because you never know when you're going to need information, solid information. And a snap, you can get it from us, where you would spend hours and sometimes you would never find it if you weren't a concierge member to BillO'Reilly.com. Junie D., Manila, the Philippines. Always watch the No Spin News, also on your YouTube channel. Read your daily message. Currently reading Confronting the Presidents. I also have Killing Lincoln, Kennedy, and Reagan. Thank you, Junie. Just want to ask you, what's the difference between socialism, fascism, and communism? Communism is when a government can seize private property, take everything you have. Okay? Socialism is when a government says, we're going to tax you very high rate and provide you with all you need cradle to grave, but we're not going to take your stuff. You have stuff, we're not going to seize it. Communists will do that, but the socialists won't. However, we'll provide for you. You're not going to have much, but you'll get retirement funds, education, medical, but you pay a lot of money. Fascism is basically the government running everything, telling you what you can or can't do. It's like communism, totalitarianism, with one exception. Fascism wants corporations, but they run the corporations. Communism doesn't want corporations. Okay, they're evil. Bernie Sanders, BS. Okay, that's the difference. Good question, Junie, and I hope you're doing well in the Philippines. Okay, let's go to our store, 3 American Tour. We just put out a few more seats because it's a hot ticket. Westbury this coming Sunday, 3 p.m. You'll love it. Go to BillO'Reilly.com. We'll link it right on over. You're tired of me, I know. But we'll only got 4 more days. We'd like to get as many people in the theater as we can. Then we got Not Woke Gear. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about this too, but spring is here. Golf shirts, T-shirts, hats, mugs. Send a message. Not woke. It's working. And then, of course, we got the best Father's Day gift ever coming up, the leather-bound edition of Killing the Rising Sun. If you have the leather-bound edition of Patton, which we're sold out of, you know how much Dad and Granddad appreciate this gift. And this will sell out too. Word of the day, do not be a jackanapes. I love that word, jackanapes. J-A-C-K, Jack, A-N-A-P-E-S. Back with a final thought about your summer vacation. Bill O'Reilly here, emphasizing the importance of a safer alternative in threatening situations. Before using lethal force, consider the Byrna less lethal pistol launcher, a device designed to incapacitate an attacker with tear gas and kinetic ammunition for up to 40 minutes. It minimizes legal risks and permanent harm. We hear from a Byrna user, Adam, who faced a road rage driver. Armed with his Byrna launcher, Adam de-escalated the threat by aiming the laser at the aggressor. That allowed him to wait safely for police intervention. That night, Byrna not only prevented a potential tragedy, but also saved potential lives, all without physical harm. Byrna, legal across all 50 states with no background checks required, has sold more than 500,000 units. Please go to Byrna.com/Bill, save 10%, and learn so many Americans why they choose Byrna. That's Byrna.com/Bill to save 10%. The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world, and with April 15th fast approaching, their enforcement is already ramped up. So, if you owe back taxes or have unfiled returns, waiting is not an option. The smart move is to get ahead of this, but never contact the IRS alone. Let the experts at Tax Network USA do it for you. They have a preferred direct line to the IRS, so they know which agents to deal with and which to avoid. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, Tax Network USA can help. Their attorneys and negotiators have already resolved more than $1 billion in tax debt. Talk with their strategists today, free. Protect yourself from property seizures, bank levies. Please call 800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com. BillO'Reilly.com/Bill. April 15th, right around the corner. Act now. Okay, final thought of the day. I booked a trip. I told you about it. I'm taking my son for a graduation gift to North Asia. Hotels are insane. Insane. Now, here is the final thought. Go small on the hotels. Don't burn $2,000 a day or $1,500. You know what they're doing now? They give you one rate for a hotel, but they don't tell you about taxes, about resort fees, about parking fees, and by the time you all get it up, your rate is double. I always insist on breakfast. If I'm going to pay decent money for a hotel, I want breakfast. Sorry. You can negotiate a lot of stuff. Expedia is pretty good, but I don't book on the internet. Okay, I use American Express to do my bookings, and it works. Okay, but you're going to get sticker shock. Two places: hotels, rent-a-cars. They have jacked up these prices. It's historical highs. Historical highs. But you can find smaller hotels, okay, that's not going to kill you. But you got to look, and you got to start now, because the smart money is doing that. They're booking now. All right, final thought of the day. Appreciate you watching very much tonight. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.